The Toyota Yaris Cross should be good in theory because it combines two things the Japanese manufacturer does well: small hybrid cars and SUVs. With its small size, ability to run solely on electric power at low speeds, and the option of four-wheel drive, it appears to live up to Toyota's marketing claim that it is an authentic urban adventurer. It is wider and longer than the standard hatchback Toyota Yaris it is based on. In fact, it is about the same size as the rival Nissan Juke and has the raised driving position that many potential buyers of SUVs value. Toyota has previously competed in the category of small SUVs. At the beginning of the 2010s, we were offered the brief-lived Urban Cruiser, which was one of the compact, three-door versions of the initial Toyota RAV4. However, there is significantly more competition in the class now. Rivals include the Ford Puma, Skoda Kamiq, and VW T-Roc, in addition to the Juke. So, is the Toyota Yaris Cross capable of standing out from the competition among the best small SUVs? Only one engine configuration is available for the hybrid Toyota Yaris Cross, a gasoline engine with 3 cylinders that has a 1.5-liter capacity and uses an electric motor to boost performance and efficiency. It is not the fastest small SUV available. During our testing, we beat the slower entry-level engines in the Ford Puma and Skoda Kamiq with a time of 10.0 seconds from 0 to 60 miles per hour. This indicates that it is still softer than the VW T-Roc and Tiggo, which are comparable models. The gasoline engine quickly reaches highway speeds when you start pushing forward. The Yaris Cross will run entirely on electric power around town if you ease off the accelerator, and the motor gives it a lot of push off the line. This makes it quieter than competitors that only use gasoline and actually saves fuel, but more on that later. The Yaris Cross becomes significantly noisier when the gasoline engine starts. This is due to the standard CVT automatic gearbox, which is responsive but keeps the revs close to the red line when you accelerate or climb a hill. The cabin is affected by a few engine vibrations, but they are no worse than in comparable vehicles. Once you're up to speed, things settle back down. The Yaris Cross is still relatively quiet for a small SUV, despite the fact that there is a fair amount of road noise coming from the tires and wind noise around the windscreen and door mirrors on the motorway. The Toyota Yaris Cross's lofty feel will impress you if you like the high driving position of large SUVs. In comparison to the Ford Puma and Skoda Kamiq, your seat height is higher. Because of the elevated seating position and slightly thinner windscreen pillars than its rivals, you won't have any trouble seeing forward. The Toyota Yaris Cross has a lot of space in the front, including enough headroom for people over 6 feet tall. There are 2 cup holders in the front, as well as a tray for your keys and wallet in front of the gear selector and one under the infotainment screen for your phone, though that one is shallow enough for your phone to slide out when cornering. Each door has very limited cubbies that can only hold 1 water bottle. There is a little more room in the back than in the Ford Puma for a couple of 6-footers. The Skoda Kamiq and VW T-Roc are much more accommodating for those who want to stretch out, whereas the Renault Captur and VW T-Cross offer a more adaptable sliding rear bench. It's also important to note that the door openings in the back are small, making it hard to fit a child seat in there or for less agile people to get in. The Yaris Cross, in contrast to the majority of its rivals, features split folding 40/20/40 rear seatbacks in all but the entry-level trim. The Mini Countryman, which is slightly more expensive, has the same feature, but the Puma and most of its rivals have a 60/40 split that is less adaptable. The boot has a capacity of 400 liters, which is comparable to the Kamiq. This indicates that it can accommodate 7 carry-on suitcases in the real world. However, Puma's boot is even bigger. Its tonneau cover allowed us to fit 8 cases. High-spec XL trim includes a useful 2-piece height-adjustable boot floor that reduces the loading lip to make loading larger items simpler. In fact, there is almost no lip when it is at its highest setting. The fact that the rear pillars are significantly chunkier than those of the Kamiq makes it difficult to see out of the back. Fortunately, every model has a rear-view camera, and the XL trim adds front and rear parking sensors. It's simple to get used to the Yaris Cross. The steering wheel and driver's seat can be adjusted extensively by hand in all versions. Only the mid-spec design trim or higher offers adjustable lumbar support, which is a drawback. The touchscreen infotainment system in the cheapest icon and design models is 8.0 inches, while the screen in Excel and higher models is 9.0 inches, and includes built-in sat-nav. The smaller screen is more user-friendly while driving because it has a few more physical buttons that make it easier to navigate the core menus. The Toyota operating system is rather clunky, regardless of the infotainment screen that you choose. Fortunately, you can get around it by mirroring a smaller version of your smartphone's display onto the touchscreen using Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, both of which come standard. The interior is also well organized, and you get physical controls for the standard climate control, making it easy to operate while you're on the go. The interior lacks the high-end feel of the Mini Countryman or the Nissan Juke. However, everything feels well bolted together. The entry-level Toyota Yaris Cross icon costs about the same as a cash purchase of a Ford Puma in the entry-level titanium trim. This makes it more expensive than the VW T-Roc Life but less expensive than a Skoda Kamiq SE 1.0 TSI 110 with a similar amount of power. However, particularly for drivers of company cars, the Yaris Cross promises to be much less expensive to operate than those rivals. The benefit-in-kind car tax rate is decreased because the hybrid system keeps CO2 emissions below 100 grams/km. Even with four-wheel drive, CO2 emissions remain lower than those of the front-wheel drive Puma 1.0 EcoBoost F125 as you move up the trim levels. The front-wheel drive Yaris Cross achieved a real-world average of 60.1 miles per gallon during our true MPG tests, making it one of our most cost-effective vehicles to test. On our simulated town route, it achieved an impressive 103.3 miles per gallon on average, making it an excellent option for city dwellers. As a point of reference, a 1.0-liter Puma, T-Roc, or Kamiq is unlikely to achieve more than 40 miles per gallon. We'd go with the entry-level icon in terms of trims because it comes with a lot of kit for a low price. Keyless entry and start, 16-inch alloy wheels, automatic headlights, climate control, adaptive cruise control, and the 8.0-inch infotainment touchscreen are all included. We don't blame you if you choose design trim because it gives you really useful features like LED headlights, roof rails, and 40/20/40 split seatbacks in the back. The mid-level Excel has dual-zone climate control, heated front seats, and a heated steering wheel. The exterior styling of the GR Sport is sportier, but it is too expensive to recommend.